Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to clear my phone. My phone's getting filled up. I'm gonna have to upload everything to my computer. Anyway, this is the second installment on the love of God, and I'd just like to share some stories. And this is what's coming. We really don't have an idea. We know that a revival is coming, and I believe it's going to manifest the love of God. Not just talk about Jesus, but where people come together and they walk the walk and they don't talk the talk, right? And we learn to love God with all our heart and our neighbor as ourselves. And that's what Jesus came to do, right? He came to show his disciples how to walk in love. It's not that's what the kingdom is about, right? All the teachings that he did about the kingdom was to teach people simply of how to share with one another, to love one another with all their heart. But first, we have to have that connection with God. So I'm going to share a quick story about a brother that passed away 3-4 years ago now, and I forget his name. But he used to have a church in Seattle. God opened up an abandoned building. He gave him the keys to this abandoned building. And you know what? The carpenters and the electricians and all that, they started turning up. The Holy Spirit sent them, and no words were sent. He didn't go out and ask for volunteers. The people came. And for 10 years, the manifest glory of God was seen in this church. The manifest Shekinah glory was there. And all he did, was the Holy Spirit that ministered. It was the glory of God that ministered for those 10 years. He would take people out in the foyer, and he would line up those in need. Might physical needs, maybe it's rent or the medical payment or something, right? There's always needs in a church. And he used to line them up against, the wall. And then you'd tell the rich, well, you go on the other side of the wall and you pull out your pocketbooks. Now, you go to your brother and your sister in need and meet their needs. Give them the money that they need to reconcile their situation. Now, that's the love of God. And it's because of that, the glory of God manifested in that building for 10 years. And it reached a point where there's over 10,000 people in that church, in his church. And that's how church should operate. Church should not be just talking about the love of God, but actually living it. And so this could be taken to the next level. I know when we gather together, this is how it should be. But the love of God should be taken to the next level, and that is manifesting the love of God in action in our homes. If you're a retired couple, your kids are moved out, and you got all this empty space, why not take people off the street? Why not take people off the street who, ask God to do it, because we're going to have his leading on this. But open up your homes to meet the needs of the people that are on the street. And your homes are not your own anyway. They're God's. They're supposed to be. You could take a bedroom, a large-sized bedroom. You could put 4 beds in there, two bunks, double bunks on either side, right? And there still be room, and be a place where you can gather, you can share. But you're not just talking about the love of God. You're putting the love of God into action. You're manifesting the fruits of love. And the times you're coming into, the times you're going to tighten up, we're going to have to do this. And if you think that you can live your own private lives and not answer to God about it, well, you're going to be missing out on what God's going to be doing. And just like back when the Lord first came and got me back in 1975, he put me with the children of God, right? And I kind of came in on the last bit of this movement, but I spent time with two other people, one guy from Edmonton, another guy from Chicago. And we were very tight. We walked together, shared together, showered together. We did everything together. And I tell you, because of the love of God that we had, not just for God, but for each other, that we manifested the love of God. We walked the walk. We didn't just talk the talk. The power of God moved. And wherever we went, the glory of God went with us. And this is how it's supposed to be. And I like to see this happen again. And I know it's going to happen again. But it can start in your own home by opening your doors to people on the street, people that have needs, right? You know, like the rich out there, well, they're living in their big shiny homes, but you know, they don't have the love of God. They're missing out on the greatest thing that God can give them, and that is to turn their places into a love fest for the Lord, or use your money to. The rich could use their money to set up farms, communities, these yurt camps, where people could come together, work together, and manifest the love of God one toward another, right? To meet the needs. That's what it's about. Because when it's all said and done, God's going to ask us one question: did you love? That's it. It's not about how much knowledge that you have about the Word. It's about, are you living and manifesting the love of God? I'm going to come back in part 3 in this. I don't want to overload my SD card, so I'm going to come back and share another story.